guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about medical coders and books. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Okay guys, so I got a comment on my Facebook page and I want to share my thoughts on this comment because it's a question that a lot of people ask. You know, they say, well, Blue, it seems like a lot of books and, you know, it's so expensive to have to purchase them every year. And what do I do with them when I'm done with them? And do I have to keep the old ones? So here's the comment. The viewer says, I've been watching and learning from the many videos. Thanks for the great information. I know that up-to-date manuals need to be purchased every year or so, but the yearly expense to purchase and ultimately store these seems to be a possibly major investment, especially if they have to be bought every year. Are the books available for access online, or should an apprentice-level person start their own library of books? So there's a couple of things that were not said in here, but we can infer. This person's at apprentice level, so that tells me that they are probably going to get their CPC or they're going to be with AAPC because they said apprentice, and that's an AAPC thing. So, and the other thing is that it's a lot of space and it's an expensive thing, so that tells me the person wants to work at home, all right? So here's the thing, guys. When you're brand new, you should not be looking to work at home. I don't care what your reasoning is. You should be wanting to work in person for your first job, at least for the first few months, so that you can get that camaraderie and you can get your questions answered. Because believe me, book coding and real world coding are two different things. I'm just telling y'all this to set y'all up for success. If that's not what you want to do, if you want to stop listening to me, that's fine. I don't care. The thing about it is that if you really want to take this seriously and you really want to be set up for success, you will do it this way, as far as getting in a place where you can go to get experience first before trying to work at home. Yes, there are places that you can work at home if you're brand new, but it is going to be more difficult for you. And for those of you who've already started that, you know, oh, I started my first job remotely and it's great and it's fantastic and I'm doing wonderful, I guarantee you there's a lot of things that you're missing out on. With that said, I will say this also. The person talks about, you know, it's an expense that they have to do every year. No, most companies, not all, but most companies, most organizations will buy books for their medical coders, okay? And so it's just the 3 books that you'll be getting, right? Let's just say, just for example's sake, that you get 3 books from your employer. And so you get these new books every single year. That's just a benefit of your employment. Well, if you say, well, Blue, I don't want to have to, you know, keep all these books. What do I do with them? Take them to the public library when it's time for new books. And then you can donate them to the public library. Now, granted, if they're not all written up to heck and gone, and they're not all tabbed up, you know, and they look good, they look clean, because basically all you're using them for when the company is sending them to you is when you will be working with an encoder mostly, right? But if you are working with this encoder, sometimes the encoder will go down for updates, and sometimes it may be not available. So because of that, you get to use your books. You get to continually use your books, so that way the work doesn't stop. So it's not a burden to have them. And if you are looking at the books like they're a burden and they take so much space, well, get used to it, okay? Because these are your tools. These are the tools that you will need, because it's not just those 3 books or 4 books if you're coding for the inpatient side. It's also other supplemental guides that are designed to help you, like the Procedures in Plain English book that I've recommended. It's in the description box as well, the link for it. And there's a ton of books on Optum, on the Optum coding website. Not an ad for Optum, but when you see that there's like a ton of different books that can help you, there's the Coder Desk reference, there's for procedures, there's a Coder Desk reference for diagnoses, there's the Coding Companion, and the Coding Companion is a book that is broken down by specialty, and I've demonstrated it on a few other videos, but these books are broken down by specialty. It lists all of the procedures, it lists the diagnosis that goes with those procedures, it gives you a layman's description of the procedure, it gives you the RVUs and everything else involved in that procedure. So it's very helpful. And these are our tools, okay? So yes, you will need the space for these books, but again, you can always donate your older books that you don't want to keep anymore, that are from a year old. You can donate them to the public library, or if you are active in your state component association, right, and you go to those meetings, bring the books with you. Bring the books with you, and I guarantee you there will be somebody there who will gladly take them off your hands, who will gladly give them to somebody who they know who wants to be a coder and wants to pursue this, and give them the opportunity to learn from your books that you don't want anymore. This is not a problem, guys. This is really not a problem. And again, looking at it, at this comment, that it's a major purchase. These are investments. And if you think that it's 100 something for every single book, well, then you clearly are showing that you don't know that there's better deals for books. If you go to optimcoding.com, again, not an ad, but Optim Coding always has their books on sale. And they have really good deals on their books. Not only that, they have free shipping. Right now, they're 55% off. So the ICD-10-CM book, the Hicks Picks book, these are running like $55, And so it's a fantastic deal. But if you wait till like August, like around middle of August, early September, they really start dropping those prices because they're trying to get rid of the 2024 editions and get to the current year, which is the 2025s that go into effect in October. So because that's the beginning of our, that's our coding new year. So that's when, those 2025 codes will go into effect is in October. So every single year, the following year codes will go into effect for ICD-10-CM, right? And so if you want to do that, that's being able to be resourceful with your books, be proactive, and be able to take care of like having this rotation of books around you. Again, yes, these books are heavy and there's a lot in them, but they're designed to help you, and you shouldn't turn your nose up at it, and you shouldn't want to just only rely on the internet to help you, or only rely on online versions to help you, because that's not always going to give you the direction that you need. Because sometimes when you look at a physical book, right, you're looking at a physical book, and then you can look up, you can look down, you can look at all these other things, you can flip the pages, and you may not even think to do that in an online version of the book. So that's something that you need to consider before you start foo-fooing these books. And again, the more you get into them and the more you start to learn from them, it's going to be more helpful for you. And it's just a natural byproduct of being a coder, is that you're always going to have books. This is not all my books. This is just the ones that I use on a regular basis, the regular rotation. And this is through my own studies and through working with my clients. So that's something that you have to consider, all right? But if you absolutely don't want to mess with books, you don't want anything to do with books, this field is going to require books. You may want to think about it again if this is really what you want to do, because complaining about it or hemming and hawing about it is not going to do you any good. It's just going to waste time, okay? And the other thing that I want to talk about too is the public library. Somebody the other day wrote in and was complaining that, they don't have a space in their apartment because they're living with family, and they have to be able to take a test remotely, and they don't know if they can do it because they don't have their own private room to be able to do this. Well, all you need is a door that will close to be able to secure a room so that you could take a test for however long, the 4 hours, right? As long as that door can stay closed for 4 hours and you're in there by yourself, you're fine. But somebody else commented and said that they were able to go to their public library and reserve a room, and they were able to take their test using the public library, right? And because they had their own room, they had a webcam and everything, they were able to take a test there. So there's a lot of resources that can be found at the public library. And that's just something that a lot of people just kind of neglect, unfortunately. And because everything is online. I get it, everything is online. But the library is so resourceful. There's a lot of things that you can benefit from just from going to the public library. So I encourage you all to take some time, go visit your public library, see what kind of resources they have for you if you are needing some of these resources. And again, donate your books to the public library, or go to a chapter meeting and take your books with you that you want to get rid of so badly and give them away and say, hey, I have free books. Does anybody want them? You will find people who want books. And the people who want books and the people who are happy to get books, those are the people that are going to be learning more. Okay? This is not something, medical coding and health information is not something that you can just learn 100% completely without books. Okay? It's not. It's not. And the more that you realize that, the better off you'll be, because again, there's a lot of things. It's not just about the coding manuals, and it's not just about like the coding companions and things like that, or the coder desk reference, or the procedures in plain English. It's not just about those things. There's evaluation and management books out there that are really good. Optum has theirs, and there's a lot of things that you can learn just from picking up a book. And let's talk about the fact that sometimes we need to give our eyes a rest from just staring at screens all day. Of course, we all know that there's a blue light filters on a lot of these computers, but there's just something about looking at a physical book and actually looking at print that is a good rest for your eyes, and it's a good change of pace so that you're not going to get so physically tired just constantly sitting there looking at a screen all day. All right. So make your peace with books. If you want to be a successful coder, make the peace with the books. They are not the enemy. They are your friend that is going to give you the answers. The more you spend time with it, the better off you will be. And sometimes, and especially if you have to educate providers and you're going to be in person and maybe you have to bring your books with you, it's good to show that you are proficient with the books, so that way they know that this is not just coming from you. You're not just making something up and they're saying, oh, well, you're just making it up because you want to make your life easier. No, this is actually coming from the book, and these are the rules and the regulations, and this is what this means. Okay, so all of these things are in the book. There's nothing I could do about the print. A lot of people write to me complaining about how small the print is. Really nothing I could do about that, guys. I mean, if they made it bigger, the book would be bigger, and then people would really be complaining. So I don't know what to tell you, if you're going to complain about the size of the print. But I do know that there's page magnifiers, so if you want those, maybe that might help you. I've seen a lot of fantastic ones. I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. And just do a simple search, for those page magnifiers. Okay, please don't ask me. Okay, please don't ask me. You guys can find them if you need them. And so that's just what I wanted to say about that. But like I said, the space, I mean, even if you didn't have books, you would, and you're working at home, I've told y'all before, you still need space, because you're not just working with a laptop. You're actually needing at least 2 screens, 2 monitors to be able to do your work comfortably. Yes, there's some people that can work on just a laptop screen, but you're having to split the screen, and then it's going to be really small, the print. And so there's a lot of things. It's just better if you have 2 screens up. And again, that's going to require space. Everything is going to require space. And then not only that, you're going to have all of these other things. What if you need a medical dictionary? And again, you could look it up. You could Google it or whatever. I mean, that's totally fine. But to me, I would rather just grab the book real fast and look it up myself. I mean, it's entirely up to you guys. But again, the books are not the enemy. You do need them. You do need them. And they're a great reference to have. They're good to have on hand. It's going to make you a better coder. You have to know that we have to know what doctors know while never having gone to medical school. I don't tell you this to scare you. I tell you this to prepare you. We have to know. And how do you get to that level of knowledge? A little bit every single day. It's not going to happen overnight. I didn't even know that when I stepped into this field. I figured, okay, well, you know, I'll go ahead and take my test, and, you know, maybe I'll learn things here and there when things update, but that's it. You know, I know how to code. It's no big deal. It wasn't until 2014 when I figured it out, when the light bulb went on, and I learned about reading articles in the New England Journal of Medicine and doing all these other extra things that made it a little bit more in depth, and it helped my understanding. So that's just what I want to say today, is that the books are going to help you. It's going to develop you into a stronger medical coder. It's going to develop you into a faster medical coder. Your brain will start to pick up on, hey, we need to read. We're reading. Okay, this is good, you know. And so that's what I would say. And it's not just apprentice level people that this applies to. This applies to anybody and everybody. And I guarantee you, if you see even a veteran coder who is opposed to books, doesn't like books, doesn't want anything to do with books, I guarantee you there's a lot of limitation to their knowledge. And I'm not saying that to be ugly. I'm just saying it because it's the truth. If you are not willing to expand your knowledge and use other mediums, such as printed books, it can vastly limit the things that you can learn. If you only want to learn online doesn't have everything. You know, there's a lot of things that could be better put into books. And yes, all these books are scanned into, you know, the internet and everything. But again, it's about looking at a physical book rather than just staring at a screen all day. And I will say that, you know, every single day and twice on Sunday, that books will always reign supreme to me. It's just the internet makes everything faster. But it's not always good for every single thing. And that's the thing that y'all need to understand. It's not always good for every single thing. And it's gonna be wrong. There will be things that will be wrong. I've seen that. I've seen people post incorrect things. LinkedIn, I saw that just last week. You know, somebody was putting out information about one of the credentials that was wrong. And people were liking it. Oh, because it was on a pretty little graphic. And it was wrong. And I pointed it out, and I told the person that that was wrong too. And so, you know, but that's the thing. It's something that's on the internet. And if you had taken the time to do your research and look, and that's what the thing that a lot of people don't do, is they don't do their research. Health information and medical coding is all about doing your research. If you are not doing that, you will miss out, and you will be wrong. You will be wrong because not doing your research, not learning and looking up things on your own, that's going to really affect your ability to be able to do a lot of things. You know, I had somebody else making comments. Well, what about these books? Well, what about these books? What about this? And what do I need for this? And what do I need for this test? And what do I need for this test? Can you look it up? Can you look it up? This is as simple as looking things up. It's not hard, folks. It is not hard. And I will not spoon feed people when it comes to, oh, well, what books, when I have listed them over and over and over again. I have listed them over and over again. So all the books that I recommend are in the description box below. I have tons of videos where I talk about books. You can look at my page specifically. Don't do what the other lady did, which was look at everybody's pages and tell me that she couldn't find what I was talking about. Go to my page on YouTube and hit the little spyglass for the videos on my channel, and you can type in books and you'll see a bunch of videos pop up where I'm showing you the books, the ones that I recommend, and talking about them and why they're useful. Okay, I'm just saying. So with that said, that's my message for today. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all again. Bye.